It was a routine visit at the dentist office. My mom had taken me, and it was just a regular checkup. And one thing is, I don't like the dentist. I'm not sure who does. So it was the dentist, the assistant, and my mom was in the chair in the room with me. And I started to feel pain when they were poking at my teeth. So they gave me sweet air, which back in the day was called, it's nitrous oxide. And I was still feeling the pain really bad. So I pulled the dentist's hand away really quick. And then the dentist says to the assistant, turn up the sweet air, nitrous oxide, and they turned it up. And then about 30, 40 seconds later, I felt myself levitating out of my body. And I'm on the ceiling looking down, and I see the dentist, the assistant, my mom, like, hello, hello, I'm up here, can you see me? But my body was in the dentist chair. And I was being pulled through some type of gravitational force. I was pulled through the ceiling of the dentist office up into the sky. And from up in the sky, I was pulled into this tunnel. And the tunnel was like this big circular opening that came from nowhere. It just opened up, and I was pulled in like a vacuum cleaner hose. I was sucked right through it very, very fast. It's very windy, very fast. And I started to lose the part of who I was in that dentist chair. And I started to take in a different vibrational feeling of myself. And the tunnel's very long. It was windy, and it was just kept going on and very, very fast. And then I started to slow down. And then I started to hear melodies. And then I started to see in a far distance, as if I was looking through a pipe, a crack of light way in the distance. So if I had to give an explanation, it was like 100 miles away. Through the spirit eye, I'm seeing this because the physical body is no longer there. Now I'm being pulled really quick again through the tunnel, and then comes this tremendous opening. I'm opened up into this beautiful, magnificent sky, crystal blue, absolutely incredible, to the point of you can see through the sky and feel the vibration of love through it. And I go through these gates, and the gates are very, very high and wide, miles high, miles tall. And I felt like I was back home. And it's hard to understand, but I felt like I'm home. So I go through these gates, and I'm being pulled through a garden. And the garden is second to none. The garden, what I mean second to none, is every flower, every rose, every petal, every leaf was perfect. Not only was it perfect in the way it looked, but I could feel the vibration of love through everything that was created, through some type of creation. And I'm taking all this in, the joy, the happiness of being back home. And then I'm going through a field. The field goes on and on and on. It's perfectly cut grass. Each blade is perfect. Each blade of grass has energy that you feel it. You can feel this energy. It's not what we look at here in the physical realm. It's as if every plant and rose and flower, piece of grass, everything's alive. And you feel the love of it. You feel the warmth of it. You feel the vibration of it. And then I seen this angelic being, and she was coming slower and closer to me in the field. And she was drifting towards me, and I'm being gravitationally pulled to her. And she looks at me, and I recognize her, but I don't know from where. And through the mind, she goes, follow me. and she didn't touch me, she pulled me through some kind of magnetic force. And I was being pulled with her through the field. And the field is incredible. I mean, until you actually get where I was, it's hard to explain, but every ounce of beauty, happiness, and everything you could combine in one was in that field and garden. That it's eternity for us. It's magnificent, euphoric. So she's pulling me. Now, there's no time on that side, the spiritual realm. And she pulls me into a park scenery. And I'm being pulled, and I see a bench, a park bench, with two elderly people from the back. And then she goes away, this young, angelic female being, and I'm like, come back, don't leave me, through the mind now. It's all through a form of telepathy. The two elderly people turn around, and it's my grandparents. Now, to the left is my grandfather, who I never met because he died before I was born. And to the right was my grandmother, who died earlier in 1981. And I remember saying, Grandpa. And he goes, hello, Sonny. And I says, Grandma. And she looked at me. Now, when I say elderly, they looked a perfect elderly. It's not like a 70 or 80-year-old that you would look in the physical realm. It was a glowing age that I would recognize them. And they smiled, but my grandma pointed her finger and says, go back. And then my grandfather says to her, what's Philip doing here? And then I was pulled backwards through this gravitational pull, and I'm being pulled into the tunnel, and I'm going back really fast again in reverse. Through my subconscious mind, my spirit mind, I don't want to go back to the physical realm. I want to be in heaven, home, where they are, because the feeling you get there is an unconditional love. So I stopped in the tunnel, and the tunnel was dark. Being in the tunnel is like being lost, null void in darkness, and no one ever finds you because you feel like you never were, you never are. You're just lost into this mysterious, mystical universe of the other side that goes on to infinity, and you're never going to be seen or heard or anything. But you could hear your own thoughts through the consciousness. And I started to think, I want to go back through the minds. I want to go back to heaven. And I'm pulling myself through the mind. And I pull myself right back to that tremendous, beautiful light, to the open sky, and that feeling of peace within my soul. And then one more time, I'm pulled back in reverse, as if the message was clear and I had to come back to the physical realm. And I remember being pulled through the tunnel really fast, really dark. There's no control over the spirit body even. It's like being pulled, again, through some type of a force that goes thousands of miles an hour, just pulls your soul through it. It's not painful. You can feel it as if you stuck your head out of a car window doing 100 miles an hour with that wind coming against you. I'm pulled over a hospital roof, and I'm looking now into the room. There's oxygen, there's people in the room, and I'm looking at myself, and I said, I don't want to go back into that body. But you don't have a choice. I slipped right back in, as if you put a glove on.